Today we're going to talk about clarity and uncertainty. And in today's world, it seems that uncertainty is everywhere. If not already, I think we are soon approaching a time of uncertainty being the new normal. And while most of us know intellectually that life is uncertain, we generally don't like to have it thrown in our face every day. And for the most part, we prefer living in an illusion that has some level of certainty to it. One of the things I work with my clients on is what I like to call naming and claiming. So naming as in naming what they are experiencing or feeling and being specific about it. Claiming is like owning whatever is going on as theirs and that's the way it is, at least for now. An example from my own life, in 2019, I named and claimed that I was going through a season of loss and letting go. I had experienced some losses of dear loved ones and also was letting go, saying a final farewell to 25 years in the affordable housing industry. And that was letting go community and colleagues and identity. So the naming and claiming do first of all help in just kind of recognizing like, oh, so that's what's going on. And the second thing is, if that's what's going on, then what are the different ways I can work through this time? So the naming and claiming both explain some things and gives us a place to look for solutions. So back to all this uncertainty that we're experiencing. Extended periods of uncertainty like this seriously undermine our sense of trust. We don't know what we can count on, and we start distrusting or doubting ourselves and even our own instincts or sort of better inner deeper knowledge, or at least have us question it. And it starts to seem like nothing is clear and certain. And there we are. We have collapsed certainty with clarity, or uncertainty with a lack of clarity. And whilst we use those terms interchangeably a lot, certainty and clarity, they're not the same. As Jocelyn Campbell says, there's a big difference between being unclear, not knowing what steps to take, and being uncertain, not knowing what the outcome of taking that step to be. It's important to distinguish between these two and to be able to recognize whether it's a lack of clarity or the fear of uncertainty that's getting in our way. So, a little bit more about this. Being unclear, not knowing what step to take. I assert that the emotion and feeling that gets associated with this, or driven up by this, being unclear, not knowing what step to take, is confusion. It's just feeling of confusion, and over time can lead to frustration. A lack of knowledge, and we can question ourselves. One place to look if we're unclear, not knowing what step to take, we can look to see if there's some lack of knowledge about something, if there's some information or data that would then bring clarity to what's the next step. In some cases, it's not a lack of information or knowledge. It is that you just don't know what you want to do, what's best for you or what your desire is. And that's more of an internal process. Or it could be that you just need to choose. Ultimately, it's a decision to make, a choice to make. In that case, looking at being uncertain, the not knowing what the outcome of taking the step will be, you can look at. And what's driven up by that, I believe, most of the time, is fear. Fear of an uncertain future, or fear of how it will turn out if we take this next step that we think we need to take. In this case, more data, more information may or may not be helpful. It might reduce the fear or help you know how to increase your odds of success, or it might not. Sometimes it really comes down to a risk assessment. Is the risk worth the potential reward, or not? Or maybe it's not at this time or not yet. Is that risk worth the reward? It may also be, you may get to a point where you feel that it's this next step. You have clarity about the next step. The outcome is uncertain, but you feel this is something you have to do. It's a mission or a call for you. And you know if you don't, that you'll regret it. So for you, what are you facing with what you're facing? Is it a lack of clarity? You're confused, you don't know what your next step is? Or is it a lack of certainty? You're fearful or worried, and you don't know what the outcome of taking that step will be. I would love to hear from you, either in the comments. If there's any way I can help with gaining some clarity or dealing with uncertainty, I'd be happy to hear from you in the comments or send me a personal message.